They found Adaize's school box packed and ready to go the night before she disappeared. Nobody touched it for 3 weeks. It just sat there by her bed, like it was waiting for her to come back. Let me tell you something. If you went to boarding school in Nigeria, federal, state, private, any of them, you know that place has a spirit, a life of its own. The smell of garri soaking in the dormitory at midnight, the sound of the generator weighing off at 10 p.m. and every junior student rushing to hide their torchlight from the seniors. Queen's College, Enugu campus. That's where the story happened. Not the real Queen's College in Lagos, this one. A state girls' school, somewhere between 9th Mile and the Bush. The kind of place your mother sent you because she said, I want you to focus. The kind of place where you grew up faster than you planned. It was 2009, JSS 3, and Adaize Okonkwo was the most loved girl in Amara dormitory. Beautiful in no be small. Not the kind of beautiful that makes people jealous, the kind that makes them want to be near you. She was from Anambra. Her father was a civil servant. Her mother sold fabrics in Onitsha market. She didn't have the most provisions. She didn't have the finest clothes. But she had something better. She had Chisom. Chisom Nwafor was her best friend since JSS 1. The two of them were inseparable. Everywhere Adaize go, Chisom follow. They read together. They queued for water together. They shared the same bucket. When Adaize was sick during exam period in JSS 2 and couldn't read, Chisom sat beside her bed and read the biology textbook out loud, chapter by chapter, until Adaize slept. That kind of friendship, the real kind. So when Adaize started winning things, essay competition, class test, the scholarship selection shortlist, everyone assumed Chisom was happy for her because that's what best friends do, Abi? But here is where the story starts to shift, small, like how water doesn't boil all at once. It started with the scholarship letter. Federal government scholarship, full boarding, full tuition, university placement support. Only one girl from the entire school would get it. And the two finalists were, you already guessed, Adaize and one other student from SS1. Adaize didn't even tell most people, but she told Chisom. Of course she told Chisom. That night in the dormitory, Chisom hugged her and said, you will get it, you deserve it. She was smiling, but Adaize told her roommate Nneka later. She said there was something about Chisom's eyes that night that she couldn't explain, like the smile was sitting on top of something else. Nneka said, you are just nervous, leave her alone. Maybe Nneka was right. 2 nights before the final scholarship interview, Adaize's reading notes disappeared. 3 months of notes, every subject gone from her locker. She tore the dormitory apart. She was crying, shaking, asking everyone, have you seen my notes? Please, have you seen my green notebook? The girls helped her search. Nothing. She went to Chisom. Chisom, my notes, I can't find them. Chisom's face, sympathy. Pure, clean sympathy. Ah, Adaize, which notes? When did you last see them? Yesterday night. I left them on my bed before lights out. Maybe they fell under the mattress. They searched again. Nothing. Adaize cried herself to sleep that night. Chisom patted her back. The interview came. Adaize went in. Sharp girl that she was. She still performed well. Memory is strong when you've read something enough times. She came out feeling okay. Not perfect, but okay. The SS1 girl didn't show up for her own interview. Nobody knew why. 3 days later, the result. Adaize Okonkwo, scholarship recipient. The dormitory screamed. Girls were jumping, hugging. Adaize wept. Real tears, the kind from your belly. She turned to find Chisom. Chisom was sitting on her bed. Not jumping, not smiling, just sitting. And when Adaize ran to hug her, Chisom hugged her back, but her arms were loose, cold, like she was hugging a stranger at a burial. Adaize noticed, But she was too happy to question it that day. She should have questioned it, because 1 week later, Adaize woke up at 2 a.m. to use the toilet, and she saw something. Chisom, standing by the window at the far end of the corridor, talking to someone on the other side of the fence. Adaize didn't call out. Something told her not to. She stood in his shadow and watched. The person on the other side of the fence, it was a woman. In the moonlight, she could just make out her face. It was the mother of the SS1 girl, the one who didn't show up for her interview. And in Chisom's hand, something was being passed through the fence. Paper. Documents. Adaize's mouth went dry. She went back to bed. She lay there until morning, staring at the ceiling, trying to convince herself she didn't see what she saw. She asked Chisom directly, the next afternoon, behind the classroom block. Chisom, what were you doing at the fence last night? Silence. I saw you. Chisom looked at her for a long time. Then she said, and this is what broke Adaize. She said, I've been in your shadow since JSS 1. Everything good that happens in this school, they attach it to you. Adaize this, Adaize that. My mother asked me last holiday, why can't you be like your friend? My own mother. Adaize said, Chisom, I took your notes. Flat. No emotion. I gave them to Mama Ifunaya. She paid me. She wanted her daughter to have a fair chance. The air went out of the world. You were my best friend. I know. You sat beside my sick bed and read to me. I know, Adaize. And for the first time, Chisom's voice cracked, just slightly. I know what I did. Adaize never reported her. People found out anyway, the way things always come out in boarding school. Chisom was quietly removed from the scholarship nomination committee she'd been placed on. Her mother came to the school. There was a meeting. Nobody talked about it publicly. But in the dormitory, the silence between those two beds was the loudest thing in the building. Adaize packed her box the night before she left for her scholarship orientation. The box that would sit untouched for 3 weeks because she came down with malaria and was admitted at the school clinic before she could travel. She wasn't gone. She just couldn't go yet. But in that dormitory, with her box packed and her bed empty, the girl said it felt like a haunting, like the space where friendship used to live was grieving. The lesson they teach at Queen's is this: jealousy wears the face of the person who knows you best, because only someone who loves you knows exactly what to take. But I want to ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly in the comments. If Chisom came to you 10 years later and apologized, really apologized, tears and everything, would you forgive her? Or is there some betrayals that even time cannot touch? Tell me, because some of you have a Chisom in your life right now, and you haven't said anything yet. This story is dedicated to every girl who grew up in a dormitory and learned that loneliness is loudest in a room full of people.